The WEC, short for World Endurance Championship, is the most prestigious endurance racing series in the world. See it as the Formula 1 of endurance races. It is the series behind the 24 Hours of Le Mans, and for 2024 there are a lot of changes, so I'll get you up to speed. There are chapters in the timeline for if you only need information about a specific part. Let's start with the classes. This year there are two classes, Hypercar and Le Mans GT3. For those not familiar with multi-class racing, see it as two races on the same track at the same time. The Hypercars only race against the Hypercars, and GTs only against GTs. Their points are counted separately. That means that if a GT finishes 10th overall, but first in its class, it takes points for first place. Hypercar is the fastest class. These cars have traction control, but no ABS. There are two main types of cars a manufacturer can build in this class, LMDH and LMH. LMDH cars are based on the chassis of one of four manufacturers, Dallara, Orica, Multimatic or Ligier. All LMDH cars have the same gearbox and 50 kW hybrid system on the rear axle. The car brands add their own bodywork and engine to complete the car. LMH cars are designed and built from the ground up by the car brand, and they can choose to fit up to a 200 kW hybrid system on the front axle. For this season, all cars have chosen to fit one. The regulations are very open on what you can do with the bodywork and engine. In Hypercar it's basically regulated how big the car can be, how safe it should be, what the downforce to drag ratio should be, and how much power it can make. You can do anything you like to reach these criteria, so manufacturers can make their racing prototype have the same face as the road-going cars. If you want to have 3 rear wings, you can. If you want to have a big V10, you can. If you can somehow get your mom's Volkswagen Up engine to make the set power, you can use it. It's not too much about performance, it's about how you reach the set performance. And that's why all the cars from the 9 different manufacturers in Hypercar look and sound so different. The goal of the class is to have cars that look like the car brand's road-going cars, but are all just as fast as each other. The difference is to be made by experience, setup, drivers and strategy. Of course, not all cars perform exactly the same in practice as in the wind tunnel, and take into account difference like weight distribution, suspension geometry and wheelbase. And that's why the cars feature a balance of performance, for which I have called an expert to explain to you.
Hey, I'm Sami Andreas. You might know me from a Hypercar BOP analysis posts on Reddit. Today I'm gonna break down the balance of performance for hypercars in a way that's easy to understand. The goal of the balance of performance is to equalize cornering speed, straight line performance, overall pace and tire wear for all the competing cars. The governing body can adjust the car's performance through two key parameters. Weight, which is the minimum car weight, set between 1030 to 1100 kilograms, and power, which is the combined output from electric and combustion engine measured at the wheel, set from 480 to 520 kilowatts. The car can deliver this power at any time. If the electric motor kicks in, the engine turns down, so these hybrids don't have the boost out of the corners like they used to have in LMP1 days. Another value set in the BOP is the stint energy. This is the maximum combined combustion and electric power the car can deploy at the wheels over a stint. Going over it results in a penalty. It is set according to the power and weight figures of the car, ensuring each car can cover the same distance in a stint no matter its characteristics. Think of it as a virtual fuel tank. The last value determined by the balance of performance is the front-wheel drive activation speed for four-wheel drive cars. LMDH cars have rear-wheel drive, while LMH cars can have a four-wheel drive drivetrain. And to negate any tire management or traction advantages, the balance of performance sets a speed at which a four-wheel drive car can activate its front-wheel drive. This is currently set to 190 km per hour for LMH cars. Now let's get to the teams. Toyota have an LMH with four-wheel drive. They will have the heaviest car, but they excel at tire management. They're definitely going to be the benchmark for the competition as they won the last 5 seasons of the WEC. Ferrari also run an LMH with four-wheel drive. They have the third heaviest hypercar with slightly less power than Toyota, positioning them as strong contenders for wins if they improve on tire management. Porsche have built an LMDH with a Multimatic chassis. They will have a lighter car with balanced power. Their reliability and pace make them opportunists ready to capitalize on any slip-ups from rivals. Cadillac have an LMDH built on a Dallara chassis. They will have the lowest power but minimal weight. Their potential for podiums depends on improving consistency. Peugeot have an LMH, which is at the moment the slowest car. Therefore, it can race with the minimum allowed weight and the maximum power allowed. Their chances for good results hinge on the upcoming Evo version with a new rear wing added to the car. Now, all of these previously mentioned cars have raced in the WEC before. Now we're going to get to the new cars. BMW have an LMDH with a Dallara chassis, which has raced before in the IMSA Sports Car Championship. It sits mid-pack in terms of weight and power. Their IMSA performance suggests potential, but the current BOP seems to give them a disadvantage compared to the competition. Alpine, similar to Acura, who compete in the North American Championship under the same regulations, will run a relatively heavy LMDH based on an Oreca chassis. Lamborghini have an LMDH with a Ligier chassis, and they have low weight and medium power. Isotta Fraschini have a 4-wheel drive LMH car, which likely has a higher downforce design compared to the competition and is therefore the second heaviest. For newcomers like Lamborghini, Isotta Fraschini and Alpine, tire management will be the deciding factor to where and when they will be competitive, as it's a critically challenging aspect to master in the hypercar class. Stay tuned for more insights and don't forget to check out my Reddit for simulated pace predictions of these incredible machines. If you're curious about the numbers behind the speed, click the link in the description.
This is the full season entry list for the hypercar class. Pause if you need to. The second class is Le Mans GT3. This class is new this year and replaces the old GTE class. They are basically GT3 spec cars. GT3 is the most popular GT rule set in the world. The cars are race versions of road-going sports and supercars. The cars weigh around 1300 kilos and make about 500 to 600 horsepower and feature both traction control and ABS. Like Hypercar, the GT3 class features a balance of performance, which makes it possible for a BMW M4 and Ford Mustang to race alongside a Ferrari 296 and Lamborghini Huracan. For the WEC, the GT3 cars are equipped with wheel torque sensors and position lights to make it an LMGT3 car. Additionally, in the series there is a success ballast system in place. 15 kilos for first, 10 kilos for second and 5 kilos for third. In the championship and the past 2 races. This means that a competitor can have up to 45 kilos of success ballast. Success ballast is not applied at the 24 Hours of Le Mans. There are 9 manufacturers in this class, and every manufacturer has 2 cars. But the cars are run by privateer teams and not by the manufacturers themselves. Because of the success ballast and the fact that this class is all new, anyone has a shot at the championship. This is the full season entry list for the LMGT3 class. Pause if you need to. Every car in the field has 3 drivers assigned to it, and the drivers change at pit stops during the race. Besides that, we have driver rankings. Driver rankings are important in the WEC. Why will become clear in a bit. From slowest to fastest, the rankings are bronze, silver, gold and platinum. The rankings are determined by when the driver has first started racing, age and achievements. In the hypercar class, bronze drivers are not allowed. Apart from that, driver choice is free. The LMGT3 class is where driver rankings become important. Each car must have at least 1 bronze driver, another bronze or silver driver, which is in practice always a silver driver, and the third driver can be any rank. Usually it is a brand associated driver. The reason this is done is so that so-called gentleman drivers, aka bronze drivers, can race. They are not professional racing drivers. They are often successful businessmen who just love to race cars on the weekend. They fund the team to be able to race, and that's how the GT teams earn most of their money, and thus are able to exist. And because of the mandatory silver driver, a MotoGP veteran like Valentino Rossi is also able to run for the championship. So by forcing every team to have a bronze and silver driver, the series makes the playing field level for all of the teams, while allowing more teams to race. Calendar. Because the races are so long, there aren't a lot of races in a year. a total of 8 in 2024, preceded by preseason testing. Most races are 6 hours, except for the following races. Qatar, the season opener, 1812 kilometers or 10 hours, whichever comes first. Bahrain, the season end, 8 hours. And of course the 24 hours of Le Mans, one of the most famous races in the world. What does a race weekend look like? A regular race weekend, all but the 24 hours of Le Mans, have 3 days. On day 1, there are 2 90-minute practice sessions. On day 2, a 1-hour practice session and 4 qualifying sessions. First, each class has their own 12-minute qualifying session. The top 10 from each class in those sessions will then go into a 10-minute qualifying session called Hypercar. That determines the top 10 positions. In LMGT3, the bronze driver must qualify. In Hypercar, the choice is free. And on the 3rd day, there is the race, featuring a rolling start. Le Mans has its own weekend structure, or should I say week, because it features an entire test day a week prior to the race. During the race week, there are 4 more 2 to 3 hour practice sessions. The qualifying session for all classes will be held somewhere in the middle of the week. The top results of each class in this session will go into a hyperpole to determine the top spots on the grid. It is not yet clear how many per class. The weekend ends with a 24-hour race starting on Saturday and ending on Sunday. For Le Mans, an extra class joins the field, Le Mans Prototype 2. These cars were part of the championship until last year, and from 2024 they only race at Le Mans. They are prototypes run by teams independent from a manufacturer. They weigh 950 kilos and make around 510 horsepower. They feature traction control but no ABS. A 3-driver lineup requires at least 1 silver or bronze driver in this class. If a lineup has a bronze driver, they fall into the subcategory LMP2 Pro-Am. Besides this class, extra entries in the other classes join the fray, elevating the entries for this race up to 62 cars. Inf next to the name means that the car won an invite for Le Mans by winning the championship in the European Le Mans Series, Asian Le Mans Series, or the IMSA. Pit stop and tire rules. All cars in the same class use the same tires. Hypercar uses Michelin's and LMGT3 Goodyear's. Hypercar has 3 different compounds over the season. For Le Mans, all 3 can be used, but for the regular races, 2 compounds are selected by the tire brand. LMGT3 has 2 different tire compounds available at every race, and both classes have 1 spec of wet tire. Tires are limited in individual tires, so you can mix and match sets and even compounds. Pit stops can only be done under green flag, and pit stops are done in 2 stages. Stage 1, fuel and safety. When the fuel hose is attached, the teams can only do safety work. This includes cleaning the windshield, getting debris out of the radiators and checking the tires. Stage 2, tires. Not every stop features a tire change, but only after the fuel hose disconnects, the tires may be changed. Only 4 people are allowed over the pit line at once, 2 tire changers and 2 tire carriers. It is also not uncommon to see teams change left or right sides only during a pit stop. Championship and points. 6-hour races award ordinary FIA points. 8 and 10-hour races, Bahrain and Qatar this year, award 1.5 times points. And Le Mans awards double points. Additionally, pole position in both classes awards an extra point. Earlier we learned that Le Mans has a lot of additional entries, and for the point scoring the Le Mans only entries are removed. So if you finish second but the car in first is not the full season entry, you get points for first. LMGT3 features a drivers and team championship. Hypercar features a driver championship and 2 teams championships. Manufacturers competing for the Hypercar World Endurance Manufacturers Championship must enter at least 1 and a maximum of 2 cars. If a manufacturer has 2 cars competing in a manufacturer's championship, only the highest scoring car from each race is counted. And additional cars from the same manufacturer, including customer teams, must be entered in the World Cup for Hypercar teams. For this year, those are the 2 Hertz Team Jota Porsches, the Proton Competition Porsche, and the 3rd Ferrari with a slightly different team name. And there you go, you're ready to watch the 2024 season. If you can't find a local broadcaster, you can always buy the season pack on the WEC website for broadcasts and live timing. If you're quick enough, the promo code EARLYWEC2024 will still work for €10 off. You can find the full entry list with drivers for the first race in Qatar and Le Mans in the description. I will add the entry list for the other races when they are revealed. If you have any further question about this series, feel free to ask them in the comments. I'll respond to every question. Leave a thumbs up if this video was helpful. This was Endu-Rants. See you in the next one.